A on Y is Barry Gardiner, the Shadow International Development Secretary. Welcome, Mr. Gardiner. Thank you very much for joining us from that rather soggy scene there. So, has the Labour Party changed its stance on Brexit today as a result of these results? We've heard from John McDonnell. He seems to be suggesting there should be a second referendum.
Look, the government has clearly failed to secure a deal that is acceptable to Parliament. We're now in the situation where the leadership contenders have made it very clear that they're prepared to countenance a no deal. There is no commission going to be in place in the European Union until November, so there is nobody to negotiate with before the date upon which we would leave. In those circumstances, Labour will follow through on the commitment that we made at our conference in September last year, and that is because we are now facing that imminent threat of a no-deal Brexit. Then we have to now say that it's time for a public vote, whether that is as a general election or whether that is as a second referendum.
All right, well,
we need that to stop a no-deal.
Okay, so you are prepared to go for that, because last year you said a second referendum would be a betrayal of democracy.
Look, I have said consistently that going against the first referendum that the referendum that we had in 2016 would really be to seriously jeopardize people's trust in our democratic system. I still believe that, but the point is this: we are now faced with the serious threat of no deal. That's why in September last year we spent 6 hours locked in a room together and we came up with that composite motion, and that's what we agreed.
It's important.
We must now deliver on that, because that's what we promised.
Well, no, it's important though that you now see circumstances in which a second referendum might well be necessary and even desirable to avoid no deal. Let's just talk about the position of Jeremy Corbyn.
But if you go back, sorry, if I can just
briefly,
point out,
if I may ask you,
if you go back to the 2017 manifesto, you'll find there that we set out this very clearly.
It was there as a possibility.
The referendum result, but not to accept a no deal, and not to accept the deal that was going to undermine jobs and security and our just-in-time supply chain and our security as a nation. That is what is now clearly manifesting itself because of the incompetence of this government and the failure of the Conservative Party to take the interests of the country first, but to put their own interests as a party first.
All right, well, let's talk about your interests as a party, and in particular the position of Mr. Corbyn. There's been quite a bit of recrimination, for example, on social media, on Twitter today, people talking about a possible coup. You've had the worst results in Labour in terms of the share of the national vote since 1910, following on pretty dire local election results. Why isn't the position of your leader coming under question now?
Look, the clear lesson from yesterday is that the public wants clarity rather than complexity.
Do you think Jeremy Corbyn's policy has given them clarity?
I'll try and answer your question in my words. What we've tried to do is we have tried to set out a process, and that process was to try and honour the referendum result by negotiating with the government to achieve an acceptable deal. We couldn't do that. The government kept their red lines. They would not move. As a result of that, the second Tory Prime Minister has now gone, and we're in a situation where all the leadership contenders, who won't be in place, let's face it, until the end of July, will have no time to negotiate anything different before the new date of us leaving on the 31st of October. In this situation, we are following through on the promise we made in September.
Barry Gardiner, thank you so much for joining us.